Mr. Grant, this is the first time that claims of the leader being targeted are being made. This gives a new dimension to the war altogether. What kind of escalation can one expect?
Well, I think you have to jump back a bit because, I mean, these are claims for starters. I don't believe that Ukraine has done this or done anything, because if they're sensible, they're not going to waste drones for nothing. And if they're going to hit Putin, they would hit Putin. They're not going to give away the fact that they can reach Moscow, so they're not going to fire before they do something serious. This is far more likely showing that Putin is in deep trouble at the moment. He's in trouble with the oligarchs, and he's in trouble with the military because they're not winning, and he's unhappy about it. He needs mobilization, and he's got to actually to show that he is still in charge, he's still important, and to try and bring the public behind him for continuing the war. So this is far more likely to be a ploy on the part of the Russian system than it is for internal consumption, than it is for the reality that they're talking about.
Mr. Grant, so essentially what you're saying is that if Ukraine wanted to hit the president, they wouldn't miss. But the shortest distance from Ukrainian border to Moscow is about 800 plus kilometers. What does this suggest about the penetration and military preparedness of Ukraine in case they had to get to that point?
As I said, if they want to go 800 kilometers, they'll find a way of going 800 kilometers. But it's far more likely if they were going to target Putin, they'd target him when he was when he was obviously clearly available. So it's not a target of Putin. And if they're trying to show they can hit Moscow, well, I think people know that already, that they can reach that far. Because they've already hit oil on the other side of the the sea from Crimea. What it shows, the escalation point that you mentioned. I mean, Russia's escalating on everything that it can do at the moment, short of nuclear. So I don't see that any talk that they make means that they can do or will do anything different from the murder that they're actually doing at the moment on civilians around Dnipro and Zaporizhzhia.
Mr. Grant, May 9th is the Victory Day parade, and we're parallelly hearing of a Ukrainian counteroffensive as well. Amidst these events or developments, how should we see the current offensive?
Well, I think the offensive is you've got to separate May 9th from the offensive. May 9th is a Russian celebration of their mythical history that they've built up. And they will still want to do that. Now, this drone attack may be an attempt to find an excuse for cancelling that. But the counteroffensive is going to come when Ukraine is ready. And it will have no relevance to May the 9th at all, because that's just a date. Ukraine is not going to commit troops until they're absolutely sure that what they want to do, they can do and do it properly. So I wouldn't link the two.
So with the lack of ammunition or the lack of military equipment that Ukraine has been facing, when do you expect the counteroffensive to start? It was expected somewhere mid-May, but now when?
Well, I think it's only expected because a lot of pundits have been saying it's coming mid-May. If you've got, I'm going to say, a military background, you expect it when it's ready, and that can be as long as it takes. I mean, remind yourself, D-Day was put back a year, effectively. They may put this right back until September, October if they're not ready, and to give them more time to collect more ammunition and more equipment from the Allies and to do more training. So when it comes, it comes. Don't think that there's a special date for it.
Thank you, Mr. Grant, for joining in. That was Glenn Grant, retired Lieutenant Colonel from the British Army and former advisor to Defence Minister of Ukraine, joining us on WION.
Thank you very much.